Okay, so one of the things that tends to happen when you got a YouTube channel, you're keen to get something out, and quite often afterwards you think, I think I know a better way of doing this. So in regards to the Anytone 878 channel settings, I stumbled across something this afternoon, and I only released a video yesterday. And as much as I hate to contradict myself, this is worthy because it saves so much time. So to preset all your repeater channels, I found a real shortcut, and I think this is really worth doing. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So yes, you need to have an account with Repeaterbook so you can do exports, I think. So you need to go to Rest of World Repeaters. And I'm only going to do them for 2 meters and 70 centimeters. Right. What we can do now is to do a proximity search. Put your location in. And I'll be quite specific because I want all the repeaters within a certain radius. And I'm going to pick 80 kilometers. I mean, it doesn't say miles, but I'm going to do it for 80 kilometers, which is 50 miles. We can select 2 bands, so 2 meters and 70 centimeters. So 144 megs and 432 megs. I want FM and DMR at the moment. I also want Echo Link because I'm an Echo Link user. If you use other systems, of course you can select those. I want all operational status purely because it tends to be the case that inevitably a repeater can be down at the time you download the list, and it can come back on again afterwards. So I'd rather have a non-functioning repeater than miss out. And I'm going to order the results by distance initially, but there's another trick to this. And this will work for other radios. It's not just for the Anytone 878. So here's the data, and I thought it ended here. And this data is fantastic, but given the complexity of DMR repeaters especially, I wanted a more foolproof way of doing it. So you can see it's got the frequency, the offset, the CTSS tone, the call sign, the location, the country, if you can work multiple countries, currently open, and it does FM, All-Star and Echo Link. I'm really happy with that. It's 9.8 kilometers from my house, it's about right as the crow flies, and that direction, etc, etc, and it's functioning. So I thought it ended there, but it doesn't. I've now found out that you can export it as an Anytone D878 channel file, or any of the others, whatever radio you've got, if it's listed here. And worst case scenario, you can do it as a CSV file and just move the headings around until it aligns with your radio's needs. So, quite a daunting task, but let's do this. Now apparently, if you don't use this data for personal use, it's a felony in Oregon law. Not a problem in the UK then. So, I set this to call sign. I set this to location city. I want it sorted by distance first and frequency. Or do I? I want it by frequency first actually, and then distance. And I'm agreeing, just in case the Oregon police are watching, I'm agreeing to use this data for personal use only, you know, in all seriousness. And bada bing, it downloads it. And you can see I've experimented with a few. Let's open the file and have a look at it. Now you've still got the opportunity to move the headings around. And I think you'll love this. I'll put it on a monitor where you can see it. So what we've got in here now, channel number, channel name, receive, transmit, channel type, as luck would have it, it has done 2 meters first, which is great. That's exactly how I personally want it. Now you can set this up the way you want it. Transmit power is high. I'd really like it on turbo, but I will worry about that later. Although, high is what, 4 watts, so it's going to get into a repeater, let's be honest. I've just noticed something very strange about these repeaters. Ah, I see, yeah, they're not quite in distance. So I may have to do that again by distance. Because I think it's doing it by frequency as well. Yeah, okay, that's not what I wanted. We'll continue. I'll download another one in a minute. So we've got our CTSS modes, decode and encode. And if I check GB3NF, I can check that this is right because I know that my local repeater GB3NF in Nottingham does not use the decode CTSS tone. If you get this wrong, you ain't going to hear the repeater. The default setting could be off, and that's fine. But if you put the wrong frequency in, or a frequency where one isn't required, it's going to trip up a little bit. And group, it's got all these other settings, group call, yada yada yada. I don't need to go through all those. You can inspect them, you know. You can see how many columns there are. What does it go up to? AW. I don't even want to think how far AW is in a spreadsheet. Well, it's still under A, but it's W onwards, so it's about 50 odd columns. It's a very random guess. So that's great. You know, we'll save that. I think it's wrong. So let's do it again, and this time I'm going to sort it by distance first and frequency second. And every time you do it, it's just going to increment the number on the end of it. That's better. So we've got my Nottingham ones first. Minor inconvenience in terms of the channels. I can sort that out on my scan list. So we've got my Nottingham repeaters first. We've got my digital ones. Who cares what band you operate on really? But all these parameters, same colour code, yada yada yada. It's got all these lock permits that these could take weeks to set up correctly. It's got all this data, it's wonderful. I've got 74 repeaters in here, which is mind-blowing. I think Grimsby's a little bit further away than 80 kilometres, but because these are in distance order, when you're scanning, you can just work from the bottom up, and I scan repeaters all the time and just see which ones produce a frequency. So what do we do with this data now we've got it? Save it, just to be on the safe side. And then we need to go to our CP program, channel program, whatever you want to call it. So this is my existing setup, and you can see that a lot of this is very basic. Let's not worry about that. We can go to Tool, Import, read the warning, take heed of it. Not an issue for me because I've never had it before. And then I can go to my downloads, get the latest one, which is the one I want, open it, import it, import complete. There we are. And this is in all the right order. I'm double checking this. I know this is what I had before. I had the encode CTSS frequency set and the decode one's not set. But it's giving me additional information, and this is probably why I can't get into Markfield. I may have had the same problem with my Baofeng when I did that. I wish I'd have done it this way. So I've learned something that I consider to be very valuable. My apologies if you already knew this way of doing it, but as a beginner, I think it's fantastic. And that's got linking in twice. Now then, I'm going to save it, but I'm going to save it as my new list for today. So today's the 16th of the 5th. Right, I've saved the file. The data is safe, it's good. All I need to do now is to go through and tweak a few things. So, 145, it's not in the scan list. So we've now got to go and remanage our scan list. It's a tad annoying. So first we're going to have VHF repeaters. It's up to you how you organise them. This is how I want it. And here's the caveat, because I can't see the repeater list, so I don't know what frequency they're on. Oh dear, the fun we have with these things. So I'm going to open that again in LibreOffice. You can use Microsoft if you want. This is my baby. Okay, let's shove that over. Go away. I don't want it. Go away. Thank you. Software, eh? Scan list. Oh, VHF repeaters, yada yada yada. So I won't go through the whole thing, but clearly 145 GB3 DC Derby repeater, that's going to go in there. Markfield GB3 CF, put those in there, and the rest of that information I'm going to say is in the other video. So, you know, I'm not going to go through the whole rigmarole. I will do a couple of UHF ones just for balance. And you organise it the way you like it. So NR is definitely via UHF. Grantham is, and RR is as well. And RR's closer. So yeah, just put a couple in for now, just to show you how it's done. Save the file again. And I'll just refresh the other setting. So once we go back into channel, we can now go into here, and on our Nottingham repeater, the VHF on, we can put that in VHF. Next one, for 30 meg, goes in UHF. Going to go all the way through those eventually. And there we are. That's our repeater list set up from an import. How much time is that going to save? And there's a better chance, particularly with digital repeaters, of making contact through them. And I hope that is going to help somebody. I'm sure it's going to help me. Any issues with this, I will, you know, I'll bring it up on an addendum to the video. I think this is really going to make it work. Can't wait to get scanning these frequencies. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining in. Welcome any comments. This is a vast subject and I do not know it all. I'm a beginner at amateur radio. I'm a beginner at digital radio. And, you know, I bow to the experience of those who help and assist constructively, you know, because I want to help people as I learn. And I feel the best way to do it is if people can learn the way I'm learning, at the time I'm learning it while it's fresh information, because I'm going to forget this stuff moving forwards. So it's really good to have it all documented on video, and if it helps one or two people to get some satisfaction, some joy out of amateur radio, then the whole process is well worthwhile. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and above all, click the bell symbol so you get a notification when I post a video. I am going to be doing a lot more amateur radio. I've still got some lighting, LED lighting projects, and also I'm still going to get that MIDI drum kit made. There's a few issues with the way I want to do it, so I am going to do it, but bear with me, keep checking, and keep subscribing, because that really helps me. Once I get 100 subscribers, I can have a custom URL. It's going to make life a lot easier for you guys to find me. So, 73s, have a good time. See you now.